Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system? But it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is. All right. She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every afternoon. And if they did, could they tell the two apart? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Everything blew up on screen in the messiest, most chaotic way possible because Joy Behar truly looked like she thought she had everything under control. But Gutfeld and Tyrus completely flipped the script with razor-sharp humor. Suddenly, it felt like a storm crashing straight into a full-on meltdown. Even when she tried to keep that confident face, Greg kept firing off jokes so sharp they felt like they could cut glass. Meanwhile, Tyrus stayed calm and steady, dropping simple one-liners that hit like a heavyweight punch. Watching her slowly lose her composure on live TV turned the whole thing into pure, unforgettable chaos. It felt like a roast battle smashing into a reality show breakdown, all packed into one unbelievable moment.
It's not even that. In The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. Mm-hmm. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being...
Joy Behar sat there like she owned the place, playing it up for the cameras. She was posted on her TV throne, carrying herself like nothing could shake her, until Gutfeld and Tyrus walked in with sharp jokes and that calm, confident energy she clearly didn't expect. In just seconds, her queen of the set vibe cracked right on camera. She froze, wide-eyed, like it suddenly hit her that her big dramatic reign was slipping away in front of everyone.
Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
Just a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country.
Believe it or not, this wasn't a loud shouting match or some big onstage blow-up at all. It was colder, cleaner, and way sharper than anything loud. Greg and Tyrus barely raised their voices. Instead, they broke Joy Behar down piece by piece with jokes so cutting they felt like they could slice right through the screen. The shocking part was she really wasn't in a position to defend herself. And somehow, that made it feel even harsher. It was like watching someone lose a fight they never even showed up for. And by the time it was over, there was no doubt. Her once steady throne was wobbling like never before.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it!
Gutfeld was in full takedown mode, doing what he does best, calling out the over-the-top behavior of certain TV hosts without ever even saying Joy Behar's name. He painted a picture of daytime stars who act like they're overflowing with wisdom while sipping fancy wine and pretending they really understand real-life struggles, like the actual price of gas. And it fit Joy's comfortable bubble so perfectly that it was impossible to miss. His jokes were sharp and clean, almost like you could hear them slicing straight through her polished TV image with every punchline he dropped.
Said that Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he? Well, really, who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
No. Next, Joy's gonna say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar.
Tyrus slid in with that calm, icy energy he's known for. No yelling, no big drama, just steady composure and jokes that landed like silent darts. While Joy Behar was still playing to her cheering crowd, Tyrus gave a look that basically said, "Are we really still buying what she's selling?" And the wild part is he never even said her name. Not once. Still, everyone knew exactly who he meant, and it turned into a smooth, ruthless takedown that barely even felt like a joke, leaving Joy as the surprise punchline in a show she wasn't even invited to be part of.
No, this is what elitists do who can't, like, if you don't know who someone is, how did you know to automatically hate him? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, that's how fake and full of she is. Gutfeld, never heard of him. Don't like him. Why? Because why? That's why I just turned to one of my kids. Because why?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who he is. Never heard of him at all in my entire life. But why? Because I don't know. Because they are the last TV show to talk about high turnover. Mm-hmm. We've been rolling 3 steady for a long time.
Yeah.
We don't take breaks in the commercial to get away from each other. Well, that's what the drinking's for.
Yes.
Meghan McCain, how'd that go?
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, or any of these previous fellow employees? Because one of the things they said was that no one walks away from money. Right?
Yeah.
So they got people running away.
This is where Greg Gutfeld really showed his genius, because he didn't argue or raise his voice at all. He just gave that quiet, confident laugh, then used perfect timing and razor-sharp expressions to pick apart everything Joy Behar has been clinging to for years. It turned the whole moment into comedy that cracked her polished image without him even breaking a sweat. The funniest part is she still seemed to think she was winning, almost like a captain smiling proudly on a sinking ship, while Greg and Tyrus simply stood back and watched the truth unravel everything on its own.
The problem is that you have to go after the racist people, and be the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racist on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah,
Tyrus doesn't need loud drama or fancy theatrics to make his point. He just sits there, calm as ever, with that steady, blank stare and a quiet tone that somehow speaks louder than a full speech. While Joy Behar is busy putting on a whole performance just to make one simple point, all Tyrus has to do is raise an eyebrow. Suddenly, everyone can see she's been out of touch for a long time. Even when she keeps acting like she's the voice of reason, those long speeches land like flat jokes that don't hit. And the applause she leans on isn't real excitement. It feels more like a habit people fall into without thinking, especially when Greg and Tyrus drop that blunt, honest humor that actually lands and exposes how ridiculous the whole situation really is.
It's about the view. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're honest.
Tyrus gave her that unmistakable look right there on camera, the kind that silently says, "Girl, do you even hear yourself?" Then he just stepped back and let her own words collapse in front of everyone watching. He didn't need to argue or raise his voice. That calm stare did all the roasting for him. Joy Behar can't handle that kind of quiet truth because she thrives on loud drama and over-the-top outrage. Meanwhile, Greg weaved through the chaos with sharp jokes and quick comebacks that made her whole routine look even more ridiculous. The wild part? She could drop the act anytime she wants, but she won't because she's hooked on that bright TV spotlight. And that's exactly what Greg and Tyrus revealed. Not Joy the person, but the dramatic performance she's been running for years.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when oh no, nothing really comes to mind, I was like, cha-ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They call them Hitler. They call these things. America rejected them, and instead of coming back and saying we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through.
It honestly felt like watching someone point out the emperor has no clothes without even saying a name, and somehow everyone instantly knew exactly who was standing there completely exposed. Tyrus didn't even need a joke or a word. He just sat there with that calm, stone-faced look that silently said, "Wow, I can't believe this is actually happening right now." That silence hit harder than any punchline, melting Joy's confidence right in front of everyone. The wildest part? Greg and Tyrus didn't even have to step onto her stage to shake things up, because that show hasn't felt like a real conversation in ages. It's become more like a skit, with people pretending to share deep thoughts while the audience claps on cue. But Greg and Tyrus are the complete opposite. They don't need cue cards, rehearsed lines, or fake applause. They just sit there, speak plainly, and turn every awkward truth into comedy gold. Watching it unfold felt like long-delayed justice finally catching up to all that drama.
Joy sure loves running her mouth. She should. But she should. It's the only running she does. Emily! So what did you make of this? VVAC is what she called him. I don't care if you disagree or agree with him. That dude is not dumb.
No, and that is what was so ridiculous. Everything that comes out of her mouth is ridiculous, but for her to make that kind of point about someone that we all know, that regardless how you feel about his politics or him running, that he is undeniably brilliant, is so...
Meanwhile, The View keeps clapping for itself, acting like it's delivering some deep, important message. Gutfeld and Tyrus, on the other hand, are serving comedy that actually lands. You can tell which side people enjoy more. One keeps preaching and scolding, while the other makes you laugh so hard it feels like your stress just melts away. The truth is, when people get tired of being talked down to, they choose laughter every time. That's why Joy Behar wasn't even part of this takedown. She was probably sitting in her chair waiting for some dramatic debate, while Greg and Tyrus were already roasting her from miles away like an old TV dinner forgotten in the oven. No invite, no red carpet, just quiet destruction from another studio, with Greg lighting the fuse, calmly sipping his coffee, and watching her whole act start to crumble, while Tyrus sealed it with a single blank look and a tiny snort that said everything without a word.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find my friends bizarre. With a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideology.
And this is the part that hits the hardest. Joy Behar came fully geared up for a loud, dramatic fight. You can almost see her hoping for a split-screen blow-up packed with shouting and over-the-top reactions. But instead, she got roasted in a moment where she didn't even feel important anymore. Imagine spending years trying to rile people up, only to realize nobody even cares enough to argue back now because the whole routine feels worn out. The punchlines land flat, and the audience has already moved on without a second glance. The worst part? The crowd doesn't even miss her, because people are exhausted by those overhyped TV lectures pretending to be smart conversation, when what they really want is something real and funny, quick wit, sharp side-eye, the kind that says everything without 1,000 words. Honestly, The View doesn't even feel like a real talk show anymore. It's more like a weird wax museum, with hosts repeating the same outrage on loop, serving up the same cold leftovers while the world outside laughs along with Greg and Tyrus instead.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
It's honestly wild how younger viewers just don't want to sit through long lectures from wealthy TV hosts anymore. People are done with fake applause and staged moments where you can practically see the strings being pulled. Now they're tuning into Greg and Tyrus, watching them turn all that over-the-top nonsense into sharp, hilarious moments, while Joy Behar is still out there yelling at clouds like the storm never ended. The truth is, the roast already happened without her, leaving that shiny throne swapped out for a wobbly little stool, sitting in the dust of old jokes and forced laughs. If you love real drama mixed with honest humor, hit subscribe and stay tuned, where everything stays real and all the tea gets spilled in ways you definitely don't want to miss.